Happy New Year, first of all. I know it's been a couple weeks since I made my last video, and honestly a couple weeks before that since I made my last video about the Integra. So welcome back. Since then I think I've had almost 100 new subscribers, which honestly to me is unbelievable. So if you're one of them, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, also welcome. And if you're new, hello. Yeah, we're back in another Integra video. I wanted to make something that was more or less a living with video, something that kind of shows what it's been like to live with the car, being that I've almost had it for a full year now, which honestly to me is unreal. It's been a crazy year, and starting YouTube is icing on the cake, like I mentioned in my post. So I think it's time, being that the honeymoon phase is over, this is real life now, I think it's time to talk about some of the negatives and then also positives afterwards. So setting off the first thing, and it's going to be hard talking about the negatives because I'm going to be cracking up the entire time driving this because it's so fun, but the first negative that's really glaring for me day in and day out are the squeaks and rattles, honestly. And I know I talked about these in my first video ever, which almost has 90,000 views now, which is insane. So they are glaring. Things like the driver and passenger side seatbelt adjusters, the sunglasses holder, whether or not there are sunglasses in there, the side door pockets, whether or not there's anything in there either, the dashboard, the windshield, the seat back, all of those things squeak and rattle intermittently. It does get annoying, truthfully, because I got this car because it was supposed to be the premium version of the Civic Type R. So that is a little disappointing, especially with how expensive it is, and honestly it's hard to get past sometimes. So I would be lying if it said it didn't bother me. And that's not even talking about the worst of it, is when you drive over any loose gravel, it gets picked up, especially with these summer tires on them. It gets picked up into the wheel well and into the brakes, and it gets stuck, and it'll make the worst, I'm not even joking when I say this, the worst sound you've ever heard. What the Yeah, it's bad. And it's embarrassing because you'll be driving down the street. The first time I heard it, I was like, damn, where is that coming from? I thought it was a train going by. And then I realized it was me driving down the street. So, yeah, it's a little glaring and it's embarrassing driving down the street like that. And it happens often. This is my daily driver. I drive it everywhere. So it happens really often. So that is by far the number one negative that I've noticed with this car. The next two things are more nitpicks, honestly. The gas mileage, as you can see, driving and having fun with this car is easy because there's the perfect amount of power, but the gas mileage will suffer. Combined with the fact that the gas tank is so small, you're going to be filling up a lot. So that's number two. And number three is really counterintuitive, but this car is so useful day in and day out. You can fit so much in the hatch, but the hatch lip is so high for things that are, especially heavy. You're going to find yourself in these weird positions trying to put something like a case of water in the back. All those things are things that I haven't really heard many people talk about with this car. So I wanted to be honest with them because I think that's really important in today's day and age. A little wheel hop, no problem. So I wanted to get those out of the way. I don't want to be too negative because this car is such a riot. So on to the positives. A lot of these things I have talked about, but driver engagement, right? Like you can see me smiling right now, and I'm doing 40 to 40. The steering, you're going to feel connected to all four wheels at all times. Power level is perfect. You can have just the amount of fun that you want to have on the street. You're not going to be dangerous. You're not going to be reckless, anything like that. The brakes are amazing. The sound for a four-cylinder does not take away from the experience. Honestly, if anything, it adds to it. It has a lot of character, this car. The looks, I truthfully think this is a car that looks better than anything maybe sub $100,000. I know that's subjective, and I am quite biased with having bought the car, but yeah, man, it just looks really good, and it shows really well on camera too, so it's really fun to film. Now, on a day-to-day perspective, all year round, especially, with it being front-wheel drive, honestly, it doesn't really take away from the experience at all. If anything, it adds to the character of this car. Like right now, I still have the summers on, and a little understeer there, but it's 40 degrees out, and this car still hooks. So the fact that it's front-wheel drive doesn't take away from it. The only reason why I'm a little worried about it is all-weather traction. Now, I love to drive my cars all year round. I get them to drive them. I like to load them up and go on road trips and things like that. So, for example, I'm going to be taking a road trip in a couple weeks up to Vermont for a ski trip. And I always envisioned myself getting a car that would be able to handle that. And I thought this could, honestly. I'm just worried about how wide the tires are, and honestly only being in front-wheel drive and running into a snowstorm. And that's something that I took the risk on buying the car for, so I knew that going into it. So I'm not going to say that it's a negative and fault the car for that. That's me, right? Obviously. So I'm well aware of that. I'm going to be putting Continental DWS 06s on it actually this week. I'm hoping that this is going to be good, and if it is, I will be happy to keep this for year in and year out on end, because as you can see here, like it is unreal how this car hooks in these situations. Like 42 degrees out, summer tires on, and it still pulled me out of that corner. Like, that is insane. And I think that just goes to show how great it is. So I'm excited to see how it's going to be year in, year out. I think it's a joy to drive. I think it's a joy to live with. And I want to make some more vlogs with it. And I want to live with it. And I want to have a good time with it. And I think it's going to be really easy to do. So I'm hoping it's going to be good in the winter. Fingers crossed. Obviously, you guys will be able to see that first. And as I run up into this minivan, I know I'm still going to have a good time with it, because this car is such a joy to live with. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you for jumping in and checking out the car with me. I'm excited to bring more to you guys. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one, which hopefully won't be too long from now. So you take care, and I will see you guys then.